Hello, uh, am I audible? Okay, we will start soon, all right? I am just waiting for some more people to join. And once they do, we will start right away. Okay, just a couple of minutes. So if I am audible, please give me a reply in the chat. I hope I am audible. All right. Okay. Anyway, let's start without further delay. All right. So welcome. First of all, I welcome all of you to this session. This is my first YouTube session at Unacademy, and today the topic is art and culture. So we'll be looking at some historical monuments which have featured in the UNESCO World Heritage List uh, in a bit depth for a prelims perspective. Okay, this is a UPSC CSE channel, but the things I will be telling you today is also good for with all other competitive examination. All right. So we will be looking at UNESCO. We will be looking at its World Heritage Program, about some of the important Indian features there, like the Ajandar Caves, Ellora Caves, and all those things. Okay, about 10 of them based on time. Okay, and whatever is left, we will be continuing this in the coming sessions. I will be taking classes regularly at 11 a.m. Uh, throughout the month of August. Okay, so please do tune in every day at 11 a.m. to the same channel, and you will be able to listen to my sessions. Okay, and about the next 5 sessions will be this art and culture only. And today afternoon around 4 p.m. I have another session here which will be dealing with quizzes. Okay, for MCQs in prelims perspective, and you can join me at that time and try to answer various questions as well. That would be a comprehensive quiz, not just on history or art and culture. It would be from anywhere. Okay, about maybe 30 to 45 questions would be there. That's a small session. I do not wish to long it much. So around an hour or 90 minutes tops. Okay. So it's at 4 p.m. today, and that too would continue throughout the month of August for your claims perspective. So yeah, that's it. Let's start. Okay. So before we begin, first of all, this is all possible because of Unacademy. Unacademy offers you lots of uh, resources for your exam preparations, competitive exam preparations, especially the UPSC Civil Service examination and SSC examination, your boards, JEE, NEET, and all those things. So if you have not already looked into Unacademy, you can do that. Okay, please do that, and you can get a subscription as well. Unacademy is one of the it's India's largest learning platform. And what do we offer? We offer the following. Okay, we offer the following. We have daily live classes. This is actually a chance where you can interact with the educator. You can right now also during my session, if you have any queries or anything you'd like to say, you can actually post it as in the YouTube chat itself, I'll be looking at it and be getting back to you live. So this is as much as virtual uh, classroom setup goes, right? An academy gives you daily live classes with chat with educator, engage in discussions. You can ask your queries, okay, all that. And then we have the live tests and quizzes, which enables you to answer more and more questions and gain more and more confidence, so that you will be very better prepared by the time you are sitting in the examination hall. We have structured courses where you'll be prepared for an exam on a streamlined manner, covering the entire syllabus for that particular examination. This would be given to you at a very attractive prices as well. Okay, and then we have unlimited access to all resources. You have test series, you have other material resources prepared by very eminent personalities and educators at an academy. Okay, so all these you will get if you can join an academy. And how do you do that? You join an academy by downloading the Unacademy learning app. This is available both at Google Play as well as at the Apple Store. You can look into that, download the app, give some basic details and register, and you will have all the above mentioned resources. So about me, before we begin, I am Madhav Sankar R Warrier. I have conducted multiple sessions on various topics at schools and colleges. Have been doing that for a while. I have been a banker before, and I'm also an artist. All right. So you can also contact me with these following details. This is my WhatsApp number. Please, you can leave the message there. I'll get back to you. Even if I may not be able to get back to you immediately. I will look into it and get back to you within some time. Okay. And this is my Telegram channel. Please do subscribe to that, because after this I will be posting all these slides and materials, also some of the important features, or some of the live updates of my classes and all that, upcoming classes and all that in this Telegram channel. You can have all the materials there. And finally, the Unacademy channel itself, unacademy.com/msrw, and here you can see all my past videos as well. I have already conducted some sessions there regarding current affairs, regarding the educational system in India. Okay, so please do visit, do click the follow button, and you will be getting all the live updates. So here you can see lots of familiar faces, very eminent, very reputed educators from all over India. They are all part of Unacademy. You can subscribe to all their classes, listen to them. Okay, Unacademy offers you all that, and this is the comprehensive syllabus that the UPSC CSE channel of Unacademy offers you. We will be covering everything: polity, governance, IR, history. You have even practice and strategy, answer writing courses, NCRT summary. So all these are there. This is just a snapshot. There are more available to you, even the optional courses. Okay, any optional, history or geography or public administration or whatever, all kinds of courses are available here at very reasonable prices. And these are the subscription packages. We have multiple packages across, and this one is the most recommended one, because it gives a 1 year complete package with 44,000 rupees, and this 44,000 rupees can also get reduced to 39,600 rupees if you can use my code MSRW1. Okay, this is the U Plus subscription. It is of two types, the 12-month subscription and the 24-month subscription. You can choose either of them and apply my code and get a very the same packages, very reduced price. Okay, for the 2 years these are the rates. And we have another new kind of subscription, that is the iconic subscription. Here you will get additionally a personal coach, daily mains question answer practice, study planner, and a personalized feedback. So you will be getting a mentor or a guide or whatever you want to call him or her, and that person will be there with you throughout the exam preparation, and will be guiding you, helping you, providing you feedback. Okay, so this is a very dedicated mentorship program provided to you by Unacademy. You can avail these at the prices 64,000 for 1 year, which will get reduced to 57,600 if you can use my code MSRW1, and for 2 years it is 99,000, which is again reduced to 89,100 by using the code MSRW1. Alright, so these are the packages Unacademy offers you, and this is what I talked to you about earlier. This is my active channel at Unacademy, and this has actually three parts: evolution of education in India, all the way from Woods Dispatch to NEP 2020. Everything is given. Means a comprehensive coverage of the educational system of India has been covered in these three parts. So if you have not seen this, please go to the Unacademy website and search for this. Alright, I have covered all the way from Chartered Act of 1813 to the NEP 2020, the most recent act. So it's a comprehensive coverage, very helpful for both your prelims and mains. Okay, so that's it basically regarding Unacademy. So if you have a subscription, great. Otherwise, please do look into a subscriptions package. Okay, so yeah, let's come to today's classes. So first of all, happy Independence Day. Today is August 15th. So I wish you all a very happy Independence Day. And today we will be looking at some of India's greatest cultural heritage sites, monuments and all. Right, a very proudful moment for the nation itself. So before that, let's look into what is UNESCO. Okay. UNESCO is a United Nations agency. Stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. So this is an umbrella organization which looks into a lot of things like education, scientific areas, cultural areas, even the COVID pandemic. During that, there have been many initiatives by UNESCO. You can check them out as well. But today I will be focusing on the cultural heritage aspects only of UNESCO. Okay. So this has been the aim of this organization was actually to build peace through international cooperation in the said area. Why? Because this UNESCO is actually an outcome of the Second World War. It's a response to the Second World War, which was marked by lots of racism and anti-Semitic violence. Okay, so UNESCO aims to promote peace and harmony in the said area, education, science, and culture through various activities. Okay, and most of its plans contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals as well. You know about SDG, right? We have something called the Millennium Development Goals, which was from 2000 to 2015, and now we have the SDG goals, the Sustainable Development Goals, which is from 2015 to 2030, 15 years period, and this UNESCO's program contributes to this particular goals. So if you haven't covered the SDGs, please do that because it's also very relevant, useful for your mains as well. Because I think okay, there are small internet issues. Okay, there are small internet issues. I'm sorry for that. I think I have fixed it. Okay. So I think I'm back live, and so continuing with the course. So UNESCO World Heritage Site. Alright, and it's listed by UNESCO as one of the special cultural or physical, an area of special cultural or physical significance, and this is maintained by the World Heritage Program. So World Heritage Program is something of UNESCO, and it is administered by the UNESCO World Heritage Committee. And this is composed of 21 UNESCO members which are elected by the General Assembly. So you know about General Assembly, right? About the United Nations, its organs. It has various organs: General Assembly, Security Council, ECOSOC, Trusteeship Council, and all. You know all the organs. So one of them, the General Assembly, it elects all the members, the 21 member states of UNESCO, and these member states together compose the World Heritage Committee, which administers the World Heritage Program. Alright, so how does UNESCO legally, or how much power have the UNESCO legally have on these monuments? These monuments, although is declared as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it is not actually UNESCO's authority or jurisdiction. Okay, the areas remain under the jurisdiction of the respective nations only, but UNESCO will help or bring in international collaboration to preserve such heritage sites. So what you can see the map here. This is a map I took from the UNESCO website itself, and it covers all the World Heritage Sites. So if you can see here closely, I don't know if this is visible, but there are three kinds of categories in UNESCO World Heritage Sites. One is the cultural sites marked by yellow, then you have the natural sites marked by green, and mixed sites. So what is a cultural site, what is a natural site, and what is a mixed site? We will look into all that. Okay. But before that, what are the criteria for selection of these sites? So the criteria for selection of World Heritage Sites are actually of 10 in number. Alright, earlier this was 7 and there were 6 criteria for selection of natural sites and about heritage sites, and 4 for natural sites. And after very recently, about a decade ago or something like that, this has been mixed together to form a comprehensive list of 10 criteria based on which World Heritage Sites are selected. One is it represents a masterpiece of human creative genius. One of the criteria. If any of these criteria are met, it is referred to as a World Heritage Site. This is not and 1 and 2 and 3 and no, it is or. Okay, 1 or 2 or any of the criteria. That's all what matters. And it has to exhibit important interchange of human values over a span of time. So civilizational areas, say for example the Ajandar Caves, okay, can come under this title. Then bear a unique or at least exceptional testimony to cultural tradition or to a civilization which is living or which has disappeared. So the remnants of previous civilizations or the sites which give you artifacts or remnants of exceptional testimony to those civilizations are also considered in this list. Outstanding example of building types and architectural features, like the Taj Mahal, right? India has many such monuments, the Khajuraho temples, and all those come here. Outstanding example of traditional human settlement, another area, land use or sea use, whatever. Okay, then another one is tangibility, directly or tangibly associated with events or living traditions. So UNESCO has something like another program called intangible assets as well. So tangible, what does tangible mean? It means anything that can be felt or touched, right? Intangible means it cannot be touched or seen. Something like, for example, some cultural aspects are intangible assets, like the say Veda chanting or the certain kind of dance forms. The Kudiyatam. Kudiyatam has been the first among the intangible assets of UNESCO from India. Okay, so these are intangible, and other like building structures, sculptures, all these are tangible. So we are looking into the tangible part only today. Intangible we will cover it another session. And superlative natural phenomena or areas of exceptional natural beauty or of aesthetic importance. It need not be man-made, it can be natural as well. A heritage site which is very natural, completely natural, is also possible. Outstanding for example, the Kanchenjunga area, in the Himalayan ranges, we have the Kanchenjunga, which is the only mixed site from India in the UNESCO list, and it's a very excellent example in this 7th category. Or the Yellowstone National Park of United States of America is another very important feature. Okay. Then to be outstanding examples of representing major stages of early history, outstanding examples of ongoing ecological and biological processes, and lastly, significant natural habitats for in situ conservation of biological diversity. So the last 4, 7, 8, 9 and 10 together forms the criteria for natural natural area, and the first 6 together forms the cultural monuments and man-made objects, all those things. Okay, cultural area. So this is a look at the what are the cultural aspects or the cultural sites from India in UNESCO World Heritage Site. We have the Agra Fort, we have Ajandar Caves. You can see this, and the brackets I have given you the year. I will be sharing this in my Telegram channel, from where you can get this. Okay, or you can have a screenshot right now itself. So from 1983 onwards, a lot of sites has been added. Even with very recently, the Jaipur city in 2019 has been added to the list. All right. So most of these are familiar names, and we will be looking into all of these actually 10 of these in this session, and further the remaining on next session. And here is the list for natural sites and the mixed sites. Natural sites are 7 in number: Great Himalayan National Park, Kaziranga, Koilado National Park, Manas, Nanda Devi, Sundarbans, Western Ghats. These are the natural cultural heritage sites from India in the UNESCO list. And mixed site is the Kanchenjunga National Park, which has been added in the year 2016. Alright, so 30 cultural sites plus 7 natural sites plus 1 mixed site. So totally there are 38 sites from India in the UNESCO cultural heritage list. So first one, Agra Fort. So I am going by based on the year it has been adopted into the UNESCO list. Alright, so starting with 1983, Agra Fort is among the first monuments that has been added among the UNESCO World Heritage Site. First point, this is a 16th century Mughal monument. Right, I think many of you have already gone to this place as a part of your college trip or something. So you know a lot of things regarding the Agra Fort already. But we will be looking into some specific features that may come for your prelims point of view examination. Okay, so Agra Fort actually hosts a lot of other important structures within it, and the most important one is the Moti Masjid. So Moti Masjid is a white marble mosque, okay, akin to a perfect pearl. Moti means pearl. So Moti Masjid is one of the exquisite buildings within the Agra Fort. We have the Diwani Am, Diwani Khas, Musamman Burj, which is actually the place where Emperor Shah Jahan died. Alright, we know the story about the Mughals, medieval India, Shah Jahan building the Taj Mahal, and then Aurangzeb taking in the power from him and all that. And then we have Jahangir's palace. Jahangir is Shah Jahan's father, right, Akbar's son. Then we have Khas Mahal and Sheesh Mahal. So these are some of the important monuments that are within the enclosure of Agra Fort. So initial structures of the Agra Fort has been built by Mughal Emperor Jalaluddin Akbar. He is the third great Mughal Emperor, son of Humayun, grandson of Babur. Right. So Akbar started building the Agra Fort. Most of the initial structures were built by Akbar and subsequently taken on by his grandson Shah Jahan. Okay, so from the time of Shah Jahan, you can see that new structures that are built are based on marble. For Taj Mahal itself, Taj Mahal is not a part of this, but wherever in the entire Mughal era, most of the marble structures are built by Shah Jahan. Before that, most of the structures were usually from other materials, for example, red sandstone and other similar materials. Okay, so Jahangir's Mahal was built by Akbar, and it was a women's quarters. Okay, it was used as a women's quarter. Khas Mahal built by Shah Jahan, entirely of marble. See, I have told you, whenever marble comes, it has something to do with Shah Jahan. Okay, very easy to remember as well and very useful. And it demonstrates Islamic Persian features. Keep that in mind, because some of the Mughal monuments represents certain architectural style. Okay, I mean everything do that, but Mughal monuments, some of them present Islamic Persian features, some of them present some Hindu features as well, especially the buildings that were built by Akbar. Okay, very some Hindu features are added to that. So what kind of building architectural style is employed is should be looked into. Okay, in the prelims it could come. And here Taj Mahal has also blending features of Hinduism. Alright, for like the chhatris. So what is chhatris? It's the umbrella like structure on top of the usually on top of the structure, right? So chhatris are included in this, and it has been considered as the sleeping room of the emperor. Aramgarh means where he spent his leisure time or he used to rest. Okay, so Khas Mahal was employed or used for this purpose. Then we have the Sheesh Mahal or the glass palace. Okay, and here we have the decorative water engineering in the hammam. So these are the special features of that unique particular area in the set architectural monument. Okay, then we have the Diwan-i Khas. So Diwan-i Khas is something not Divanai Khas is a common name. It is not a particular name for something inside the Agra Fort. Divanai Khas only means the hall for a private audience. Divanai Khas is there in other areas like the Fatehpur Sikri as well. Okay. Then we have the Mamam-e-Shahi or the Shah Burj used as a summer retreat, and we have the Divanai-Am, again a common name, where and here this is the area where Peacock Throne used to sit earlier in Agra. Shah Jahan changed the capital from Agra, moved it to Delhi, right? And he took the Peacock Throne along with him. So before that, Divanai-Am hosted the Peacock Throne, very famous. Right now it is in the British National with the British, and it has been taken from India by Nadir Shah, right? You know all that story. We will be looking into that if we take a session on medieval history. All right. Second important one, again from 1983, is the Ajandar Caves. So Ajandar Caves is in the South India area, Maharashtra to be precise. So first one was Agra Fort is in North India, Ajandar Caves in the South India, in the Sahyadri ranges, which is in the Western Ghats. Okay, so near Aurangabad. So you remember this river name also. UPSC has a weird way of using rivers in its question. So the Bakhora River near Aurangabad in Maharashtra. Okay, and this is a set of 29 caves and is very fine example of the Buddhist architecture. So whenever you study something related to architecture or something related to culture, you have to know which religion or which philosophy is involved in that particular structure. And Ajandar Caves is an excellent example of Buddhist architecture. We will be seeing Ellora Caves where more than one religion is involved, Buddhist, Jainism and Hinduism. And here Ajanda is a Buddhist architecture, architecture, and it is in the patronage of Vagadaga king. So which kingdom patroned that particular architectural monument? This also has to be remembered. Okay, so which are the religion involved? What is the style of architecture? Where is it located? And which kingdoms patronized it? Very, very important 4 points that you have to remember about most of the architectural features, especially from medieval and ancient India. Comprises of chaityas and viharas. This is a Buddhism related monument. So what are chaityas? Chaityas are prayer halls, right, where Buddhist monks do their religious prayers. And we have viharas. Viharas are halls where Buddhist monks can rest or they stay during their travel. Buddhist monks do not stay in a single place for more than a particular time, because they believe that if they stay at a particular place for a long time, they will start developing attachment to that place, which is actually against the Buddhist ideology. So they do not do that. So they have to construct lots of viharas for staying during their traveling course. So chaityas and viharas. Do remember that chaityas are prayer halls and viharas are areas where the Buddhist monks live. Okay, and then another important point is that Ajandar Caves has lots of paintings within it. Okay, lots of artworks, and what is being inscribed in these artworks is Jataka tales. Right, Jataka tales, we all know what Jataka tales are. It actually illustrates the stories of Buddha as Bodhisattva. So who is a Bodhisattva? Bodhisattva means any saint or a saintly being who is destined to become the Buddha. So Buddha has many incarnations or something like that. Okay, that is the mythology regarding that religion. So Jataka tales illustrates the story of Buddha and Bodhisattva, and various stories, moral stories, which are messages to humanity, are being inscribed through the Jataka tales, and this is inscribed in the Ajandar Caves. Last point. Reference of Ajandar Caves can be found in the travel accounts of Buddhist travelers Fahian and Huansang. So can anybody tell me during whose reign did Fahian visit India and whose reign did Huansang visit India? Very, very important question. Okay, most of the Chinese travelers were of Buddhist in nature, and Fahian and Huansang are very prominent. Fahian being the first Chinese traveler to come into India, Huansang be followed later. So the others are also there, like Itsing and so on. Okay, so Fahian came during the period of Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, and Huansang, Chandragupta Maurya II, and Huansang during the period of Harshavardhana. Okay, you will study that in detail in the Vardhanas of Taneshwar. There is a section in your NCRT for that as well. You can see some diagrams of Ajandar Caves here as well. Okay, so this is what basically you have to remember regarding Ajandar Caves for your prelims. Then we have Ellora Caves, another monument, another architectural structure, cave structure which has been incorporated in 1983. Okay, it is also located in Maharashtra. Actually, these are close by, very close to Ajanta itself, just around 30 kilometers or so. Okay, so here, as I have mentioned earlier, we have Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism. So earlier, Ajanta Caves had only Buddhism. Ellora has three religious features: Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism, and elaborate rock carving. So we have 34 caves here containing Buddhist chaityas, also viharas, monasteries, and Hindu and Jain temples. Okay, so 34 caves in total. This has architectural features that span over 600 years from 5th to 11th century AD. So just remember the rough period, need not remember the exact period, but you can see structures ranging from 5th to the 11th century AD. The earliest excavation found here is Cave 29, Thumar Lena. Could come for your prelims, good for your other examinations as well. Remember the name. Thumar Lena is the Cave 29 is the earliest excavation found in Ellora Caves. And most important point, cave number 16, the Kailasha temple, the very magnificent Kailasha temple. Yeah, the image you can see here is also represents the Kailasha temple. It is a single rock structure or a monolithic structure, the largest monolithic structure in the world. Okay, the Kailasha temple inside the Ellora Caves is the largest monolithic structure in the world, and it is known as Verul in ancient times, and it is a very famous tourist spot as well. Okay, so the Kailasha temple is a single monolithic structure within the Ellora Caves. Moving on to Taj Mahal. Okay, we'll be looking into 10 World Heritage Monuments today. We have covered 3 already. This is the 4th one, Taj Mahal, again incorporated within the list in 1983. Okay, so the building of Taj Mahal has been started. The construction process was started back in 1631, 1632, that period, and it took 22 years in making. You know the story. Shah Jahan calling various architects from all around the world and making this marvelous monument in a period of 22 years, employing about 20,000 men, and you know the story, right? But important points here is that it is in the banks of river Yamuna. Okay, simple point, but need to be noted. Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan erected this mausoleum. So Taj Mahal is a mausoleum he built for his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal. Okay, and then for 17 years, this is just a brief about the construction process, not that important point, this one. It took a lot of time, a lot of men to construct this building. Point here is that in order to accommodate all these people, around 20,000 people have come from various places in order to build this building, and to accommodate all these people, Shah Jahan actually built a small town nearby Taj Mahal, and it is known as the Mumtazabad, again named after his wife Mumtaz Mahal. So Mumtazabad, now known as the Taj Ganj, is adjacent to the Taj Mahal, and it is the place where all the builders of Taj Mahal were incorporated during the construction of the monument. So if we look at Taj Mahal a bit closely, you can see that there are lots of inscriptions in Persian style. Okay, and these inscriptions have been calligraphed by the famous Amanat Khan Shirazi. Alright, and his name occurs at the end of this inscription in one of the gates of Taj Mahal. So Amanat Khan Shirazi is the person who inscribed all those what is written in the Taj Mahal in a calligraphic manner. Alright, and poet Ghiyasuddin designed the verses written in the tombstone, while Ismail Khan Afridi is the dome maker. You can see the prominent dome of Taj Mahal here, right? Can't you see this? Right. This dome has been designed by a person called Ismail Khan Afridi. He is a dome maker from Turkey. Okay. Then Muhammad Hanif was the superintendent of masons, not much important. But the last point is pretty much relevant. The designer of this Taj Mahal, the person who designed this architectural marvel of white marble is Ustad Ahmad Lahori, also known as Ustad Isa. Okay, so Ustad Ahmad Lahori is the architect of this grandiose monument, Taj Mahal. Okay, Mahabalipuram. Again, we are coming back to south. Okay, and remember this year. This is not in 1983. The first 4 monuments that I have shown you are from 1983, incorporated at the beginning. Mahabalipuram is in 1984, incorporated in the very next year. It's a town situated in the shores of Bay of Bengal in the city of Chennai. I think this slide is a bit cramped up. I'm sorry for that, but lots of important points here. I'll share all these at my Telegram channel here, as you can see, and you can read them by zooming in also. Okay, so Mahabalipuram is in the city of Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and at the shores of Bay of Bengal, and it is very famous for 2 of the temples, Shore Temple and the Ratha Cave Temple. Very important temple. Many questions have been asked in UPSC before regarding this Mahabalipuram, both in prelims as well as in mains. Based on, for example, in prelims they have asked questions specifically about each of these temples. In mains they have asked about the Pallava art as such, or say some other South Indian Dravidian artistic style. Okay, so do look into this with very much focus. So the shore temples at Mahabalipuram, built in 7th century by Rajasimha, is one of the final flowering era of Pallava art. Very, very important. Keep that in mind. You can get confused because when you imagine Tamil Nadu, lots of kingdoms come to your mind. Cholas, the Pallavas, then towards the north at the Andhra Pradesh side we have the Chalukyas and all that. So do not confuse the kingdom. It is not Chola, it is Pallava art. Mahabalipuram is a Pallava architectural monument. And the shore temple. Okay, the magnificent Ratha cave temples is again by a Pallava king, Narasimha. Narasimha, another king, built the famous Ratha cave temple. Alright, so descent of the Ganges and the temples of Rivaj are all dedicated to the glory of Shiva. So Lord Shiva, it's a Shaivite kind of monument. Again, UPSC can mess with you, can put it related to Vishnu temple or it's a Shakti temple or anything like that. Remember, these are from these are devoted to Lord Shiva. The name itself suggests that, right? The descent of Ganges and the temple of Rivaj all are associated with Shiva. Okay, and there are 8 Rathas at Mahabalipuram, out of which 5 are named after the Pandavas. So who are Pandavas? We know the story of the 5 brothers, right? In the Mahabharata, we have learned about that. So Pandavas include these 5 brothers and their sister Draupadi. Okay, so the 5 Rathas that are seen are the Dharmaraja Ratha, named after Yudhishthira, Bhima Ratha, Arjuna Ratha, Draupadi Ratha, and Nakul Sahadev Ratha. So there are 5 Rathas dedicated to the Pandavas. Alright, and these are constructed in the style of Buddhist viharas and chaityas. See, this is a very tricky point. We have earlier learned that there are Shiva attributes here. Pandavas are also Hindu gods, or considered so in the Hindu mythology, but the construction style is actually of Buddhist viharas and chaityas. Keep that in mind. Okay, and the largest among these is the unfinished 3-story building of Dharmaraja Ratha. So this is a 3-storied building, and this is by Dharmaraja Ratha. Is the largest of the 5 Rathas. Okay, and the Draupadi Ratha is the smallest one. It is a 1-storied building and has an interesting thatched-like roof. So largest is the Dharmaraja Ratha, smallest is the Draupadi Ratha. And Arjuna and Draupadi Rathas are dedicated to Shiva and Durga respectively. Alright, so Arjuna Ratha is dedicated not to Arjuna, it is actually dedicated to Shiva. Draupadi Ratha is dedicated to Durga, the goddess Durga. So careful about that and keep this in mind for your prelims perspective. Alright, so that's all about Mahabalipuram and the very famous two temples, the Shore Temple and the Ratha Temple. Now we are coming to the Sun Temple. So we have been shifting from north and south for a long time. Now we are going to our eastern areas. Okay, in the East India and the state of Odisha, near the sacred city of Puri, we have the famous Sun Temple of Konark. Okay, 1984. Remember this period as well. Okay, so you can post any questions or comments or feedbacks if you want. Okay, so hello everybody, you have joined. So Sun Temple, Konark. So located in Odisha, I have already gone through that. This is dedicated to the god Surya. Okay, it's dedicated to the sun god, and it is a monumental representation of the sun god in a chariot, sun god's chariot. So if you have been to Konark Sun Temple, you can see that it's actually a huge. The temple itself is a very huge chariot with 24 wheels. I mean 12 in one side and 12 on the other side. So it's a very monumental structure. You can see one of the wheels here, this image, and there are 23 other wheels as well, and this is dedicated to the god of sun. Okay, and this is marked as the highest point of achievement in the Kalinga architecture. So you have to look this at a ancient history point of view as well. You can see that there are three prominent styles of architecture in India. At the south, we have the Dravida architecture style. We have the Nagara architectural style in the northern area, and at the middle, we have in the central India and around the Deccan area, we have a combination of the features of Dravidian style and the Nagara style, together known as the Vesara style of architecture. Right. And this is a regional style. The Kalinga style is a regional style to Orissa. Okay, because this evolved there. The Ganga king evolved it there. The Kalinga style. Okay, and this famous temple was built during the time of Narasimha Deva I. He is an Eastern Ganga king. So it is from a Ganga dynasty built in 1250 AD by Narasimha Deva I. Remember the name of this king because they are very important. Remember the architectural style employed. Remember the location and remember the dynasty of that king. Okay, remember which all buildings are attributed to Pallavas, which all buildings are attributed to Ganga, Cholas, and all those things. Okay, and this is just the last point is not that important. It is just a brief about the mythological relations of this temple. Okay, but here you can see this temple is also called Black Pagoda. Okay, because this used to cause a lot of shipwrecks in earlier times, and hence the sailors used to call this Sun Temple as a Black Pagoda. Okay, so these are the important points that you have to keep in mind regarding Sun Temple. Now we have the churches and covenants of Goa. Okay, this again the year has changed. Last Sun Temple is incorporated in 1984. There is nothing incorporated in 1985. Now we have in 1986. We have the churches and covenants of Goa. So here we can see three kinds of architectural features or artistic features: the Manueline, Mannerist, and the Baroque. So these are the three prominent architectural features of churches in Goa. So among various churches, we have two very important structures. One, the Basilica of Bom Jesus, and two, Say Cathedral. Okay, so the Basilica of Bom Jesus is located in Panaji, the capital of Goa. Okay, it was built recently only. It's a 16th century monument, so very in the modern period itself, and it is India's first minor basilica. Very important point. This cathedral, the Basilica of Bom Jesus, which many of you may have already visited, is the first minor basilica in India, and is an excellent example of the Baroque architectural style. Okay, so just remember these names, architectural styles. Okay, and this houses the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier, who was the patron saint of Goa. Lastly, the mausoleum of Saint Xavier is a marvel of Italian art. Okay, the marble base and the Hindu craftsmanship, this silver casket. So it is a mixture of Italian and Hindu craftsmanship uh, that we can see in the Church of Basilica of Bom Jesus. Then we have the Say Cathedral, again a 16th century Portuguese make. Okay, and this has been dedicated to Saint Catherine of Alexandria. Okay, on the day when Alfonso Albuquerque defeated the Muslim army to take possession of city of Goa. So, in the modern history, when you study modern history, one of the first things that you study is arrival of European travelers to India. Right, the first European people who came to India was the Portuguese. They were also the last one to leave India. So Portuguese came, then we have other empires like the Dutch, English, French, Danes, all of them, right? And Alfonso Albuquerque was one of the most prominent uh, governors of the Portuguese company, and he defeated the Muslims and established or what he took possession of the city of Goa. And this building, Saint Cathedral, has been built, which is also the largest church in Asia, has been dedicated to Saint Catherine of Alexandria on the feast day of 1510. So, what is the architectural style here? It is Portuguese Gothic. Earlier, it was Baroque architecture. Now we have the Portuguese Gothic architectural style. With some difference in these are not necessary. I just put it here because as an additional reference. But remember this one. It is a Portuguese Gothic style of architecture. Main altar of the cathedral is dedicated to Saint Catherine of Alexandria. Old paintings depict. So everything within this church, there are lots of paintings there. All of these are dedicated to her life and martyrdom. On the right of the nave is the Sacred Chapel of Cross Miracles. Just an additional point. I have not seen this much in UPSC, but I am telling you all this because this is one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites from India. Okay, UPSC always asks one or two questions from these heritage sites, something related to these heritage sites. So, and they usually pick from any of these randomly. We have seen lots from Ajandar, Ellora, Elephanta, and all that. So we can expect any of these others as well. That's why I have put all these in this particular session. Last one, Church and Covenant of Saint Francis of Assisi, Church of Lady of Rosary, Church of Saint Augustine are also among the famous churches of Covenant of Goa. So all these groups of churches and covenants are together placed in the UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is not a single particular monument. This is a combination of structures. Okay, coming to the 8th one, another one added in 1986, we have the Fatehpur Sikri. So very famous building. Many of you may already know about Fatehpur Sikri. It is situated in the state of Uttar Pradesh, built by the great Mughal Emperor Akbar in honor of the Saint Salim Chishti, Sheikh Salim Chishti. Okay, so that Akbar has built this because he had even made Fatehpur Sikri his capital city. Okay, and this was built in honor of the Saint Sheikh Salim Chishti. So you need to remember about all those silsilas at that earlier period. One of the prominent one is the Chishti silsila, and this was Fatehpur Sikri has been dedicated to in honor of Sheikh Salim Chishti, and this is an amalgamation of Persian, Hindu, and Islamic architecture. So three prominent architectural features are seen in this building or seen in this group of buildings: Persian, Hindu, and Islamic. Okay. So this is the first planned city of Mughals. So Mughals started all the way back from the Babur period, and then we had Humayun and we have Akbar. So only the third prominent Mughal king or third of the greatest Mughal king built a very planned city, and this is the Fatehpur Sikri. And we have many architectural marvels within this city, and you have to remember all these buildings because I have seen this question lots of times before. They ask which of the following buildings are incorporated within Fatehpur Sikri. This is a very usual question, and so do remember what all are within the structure. One is Buland Darwaza. This is something you already know. Buland Darwaza has been built on commemoration of Akbar's Gujarat victory. This is another question I have seen before. After the battle at Gujarat, Akbar emerged victorious, and Buland Darwaza was built to commemorate this occasion. Okay. Then we have Jama Masjid. We have Tomb of Salim Chishti. Okay, this is a marble structure, and it has very intricate geometric patterns and designs, many specific features itself. Okay, so the entire city has been dedicated to Saint Sheikh Salim Chishti, and there is a tomb of Salim Chishti within this building as well. Then we have Diwan-i-Am. Okay, Diwan-i-Am is actually a common name for a hall of public audience. There is a hall of public audience where the empire meets the general public, and there is a hall of private audience where he meets the selected chiefs or his main ministers and all that, and that is known as Diwan-i-Khas, where the hall is the private audience. Okay, then we have the Naubat Khana, the drum house, Taj Mahal, court for ladies, Birbal's house. You know about the famous personality of Birbal, right? Actually, you have to remember about the Navratna court of Akbar as well. We have the 9 gems. Remember who all they are: Mian Tansen, Raja Birbal, Raja Mansingh, and all of them. So do look into them as well, because UPSC can give you some clues about a personality and ask you to name that personality. UPSC last year has given some clues about a place and asked you to find out the place. So similarly, regarding personalities as well, they can ask similar kinds of questions. Okay, and you have the Anup Talav. Anup Talav is basically a pool that is located within Fatehpur Sikri, and we have Jodhabai Palace. Who have seen Jodha Akbar may know a lot about the film Jodha Akbar, may know a lot about this place. So all these architectural structures are situated within Fatehpur Sikri. Okay, so moving on to our 9. This is the last but first one. So we have one more after this, and that is the last one is the Khajuraho group. So Hampi, group of monuments at Hampi has been incorporated in the year 1986 into the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Okay, and this is also a bit crammed up slide. You may not be able to see it very clearly. Sorry for that, but again, I will share this in my Telegram channel. Link is given below here. Okay, so Hampi is the capital of Vijayanagara Empire. You may know all about Vijayanagara Empire. If you have studied that medieval India, you may have heard of famous personalities like Krishnadevaraya, Tenali Raman, and all that, right? So they were all part of the Vijayanagara Empire, and Hampi is the capital city of Vijayanagara Empire in the state of Karnataka. Again, we are coming back to south at Karnataka, and it is at the bank of the river Tungabhadra. So Tungabhadra, there are 2 rivers, and they together form the Tungabhadra river, and Tungabhadra river flows towards the northern part of Hampi. Hampi is a very less vegetative rocky site. Okay, you can see from the figure itself, not much vegetation is there. It's a rocky area, and it's on the bank of the river Tungabhadra. Okay, so Vijayanagara city was earlier known as Vidyasagar in honor of the sage Vidyaranya. Sorry. So in honor of this particular saint, the city was named as Vidyasagar, and it later renamed as Vijayanagara city. So this city incorporates everything from Harihara once time to Sadashivaraya. So there is a lot here. From Harihara and Bukka are the people who actually built this city. You remember if you have studied the medieval history already. So from that time onwards till Sadashivaraya, there are monuments built in the city of Hampi, and the most celebrated among them is Krishnadevaraya. Krishnadevaraya, the greatest king of the Vijayanagara Empire, has built the most of the lion's share of the royal buildings within Hampi. And here we witness the re-emergence or the revival or resurgence of Hindu religious art in an unprecedented state. So Vijayanagara Empire is a Hindu state, and we can see emergence of a Hindu architectural style here. and we have many iconographic and traditional depictions of Ramayana and Mahabharata. So we have Hindu mythological inscriptions within the various temples of Hampi. So some of the most important temples of Hampi include the Vittala temple, very famous, a Vijayanagara style architectural temple. It has monolithic statues of Lakshmi, Narasimha and Ganesha in a very massive scale. Okay, so remember Vittala temple. Then we have the Krishna temple, Pattabhirama temple, Hazara Ramachandra temple, Chandrasekhara temple, and all those temples. So when I take the session regarding the architectural styles of the Dravidian style, Vesara style, and Nagara style, I will go into depth about these kinds of temples, because these temples are also examples of certain kinds of architecture. There we will look into the prominent features of all types of architecture. Okay, so remember that these monuments are also part of the great monuments at Hampi that has been included in UNESCO World Heritage Site. Then away from the religious monuments, we have some secular edifices, and these include the Zenana enclosure and the Lotus Mahal. Okay, so temples are all religious aspects related to Hinduism, and here we have some secular edifices are also there for administrative purposes and for residence purposes, and Zenana enclosure as well as the Lotus Mahal are some examples of the latter type. Other important architectural structures include the Thananayaka's enclosure. Thananayaka means treasurer. Okay, so when you study medieval kingdoms or ancient kingdoms, you will come across a lots of names, right? Say Lavanadhyaksha or Kupyadhyaksha. This comes in the Emperor Ashoka's time, Mauryan period. And then during the Gupta period, you have some of them. During the Marathas under Shivaji, you have different set of names for administrative chiefs and all that. So for Vijayanagara also we have some names, and Thananayaka means treasurer, and his enclosure also comes within this group of monuments. Then we have the very famous Mahanavami Dibba, where special pujas and special ceremonies do happen during the Mahanavami period. Okay, so you can look into that as well. We have mandavas, ponds, and all many, even some Buddhist scriptures are included, are found in the remains of Hampi. Okay, so this is a basic overview of Hampi. We will look into the architectural style in detail in another session. Just remember this in a prelims point of view. Okay. Final architectural monument for today, Khajuraho group of monuments. Khajuraho group of monuments also incorporated in 1986. Okay, so tomorrow's session I will be going from 1987 onwards. 11th one, the Ellora Caves. So 10th is the Khajuraho group of monuments, last one from 1986. So this is in state of Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so always remember the location, very important. If you are taking history as your optional, you know that paper 1 has a compulsory area where 20 questions you are asked to find out the location of 20 important places. So identifying the state, identifying the rivers are all very important in mapping. Okay, so Khajuraho, also earlier known as Khajuraho, is located in the state of Madhya Pradesh, and it is the principal seat of authority of Chandela rulers. So which was the dynasty, or who are the patrons of Khajuraho group of monuments? Answer is Chandelas. Okay, they ruled around the central India during the medieval time, and they are the patrons of Khajuraho group of monuments. Yashovarman built the famous Vishnu temple known as the Lakshmana temple. So this is another tricky question that UPSC usually comes up with. They can put the famous Lakshmana temple is dedicated to Lord Rama and Lakshmana in that way. Okay, they can put this and confuse you. It is actually a temple for Vishnu. Do not forget that. Keep that in mind. And we will be in another session. We will be looking into the kind of architecture, the Panchayatana style of architecture, and there all this will come as an example. Okay, we'll be looking into the architectural style, the shikharas and mandavas and all that things as well. So remember the names of these temples, because these are examples for a lot of historical architectural styles. Okay, then the Khajuraho group also includes the Vishwanatha, Parshvanatha and Vaidyanatha temples of the time of the king Thanga. He was the successor of Yashovarman, not important, but these temples also come around the same area. Okay, then we have the Jagadambi and Chitragupta, notable for the western group of royal temples in Khajuraho. The largest and grandest temple of Khajuraho is the Kandariya Mahadeva temple. Very, very important point. Kandariya Mahadeva temple is the biggest and largest temple in the Khajuraho cluster and is attributed to the king Ganda. Okay, so this is a 11th century temple, Kandariya Mahadeva temple, and it comes in the Khajuraho group of monuments. Other important temples include Vamana, Adinatha, Javeri, Chaturbhuj, Duladio, and certain other temples as well. So, as you can see, here is a picture of one of the temples, and you can see there are many groups of architectural or sculptures present in all these temples. For example, the Parshvas, Avarana Devadas, Dikpalagas, Apsaras, and all those things. So all these are inscribed into these temples. We will look into all that, the kind of sculpturing, the facial expressions, the features, and all that in detail in another session where we deal with the architectural style as such. This session has been focusing only on the prelims point of view for that particular monument. Okay, so as I have told you before, keep in mind about the location of the monument. Is there any river close by? Which dynasty or to which king do you attribute that temple to? Means if there are any patterns or something like that, and look into the style of architecture. Is it Kalinga? Is it Dravidian style? Or is it something like that? Okay, so keep all this in mind, and that's the last slide for today, and that's it. So if you can send me any kind of feedback, criticisms are also welcome. This was my first class live in YouTube as far as Unacademy is concerned. Okay, so if you like to subscribe and watch more of my videos at Unacademy, you can do that by using my code MSRW1. You can send feedbacks to this WhatsApp number as well. Okay, so please do subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell button so you will get notified when I take further videos in the future. Okay, so that's it from me today. Thank you for tuning in all this time. So until next time, bye. I have a class quiz session today at 4 p.m. If possible, please do tune into that as well. Okay, so bye again. I wish you a very happy Independence Day. Okay.